So Sarah Boone has been found guilty on all charges. Not a surprise to many of us that this happened, and I'm sure that in that moment when the guilty verdict was read, and she absolutely showed no emotion, that she was probably regretting not taking that plea deal of manslaughter, because now she's going to be in prison for a very long time. The one thing I've really tried to do with my channel is to highlight George and his life, his kids, his family. I think it's really important, and I'm so happy that so many of my subscribers feel the exact same way. So today we are going to watch a court TV interview that they had with several of his family members. One was his ex-wife and her daughter, and his oldest daughter is in it as well.
Now we have Jorge Torres' oldest daughter, Ana Victoria Torres, with us. We also have Dolores Ortiz with us, who is Jorge Torres' first wife, and she also brought with her this morning her youngest daughter, Destiny. First of all, my heart goes out to all of you, and for all of us here at Court TV, we are so sorry for your loss. Thank you for coming on the show, and I know that you really want to clear the air. And Ana Victoria, I know you've wanted to kind of be the family spokesperson, so I want to start with you, please. The way that your dad has been depicted as being an abuser in this trial, I know that it has upset you and you felt it's very unfair. Tell us why.
Story, and unfortunately we are the voices now, and the way the trial has gone and the way things have taken place have nobody has ever contacted us to hear our story or ask us questions in regards to our father, his character, or the relationship between him and Sarah Boone. Me and my siblings actually spoke to our father that night, and we have a lot of experiences with Ms. Boone that do not speak to what the media is stating she is, a victim or a gentle individual. I'm sure she's loved over there at jail due to the fact that Sarah Boone is very, very calculated. She by no means is a kind and sweet, soft-spoken woman. She is very calculated, very devious, very conniving. My father was sheltered and berated. He was kept from us. He was the real victim in this situation.
So just like Ana Victoria said about her being calculated and by no means was, a quiet talker or soft-spoken, that she really was a loud personality and wanted what she wanted and let everybody know that around her, which is so not a surprise. After watching all of these videos before the trial, we got to know Sarah Boone and how she treated others. And so it's nice to have family now stepping up and being able to share their side of the story and what her father went through.
Unfortunately, again, as stated, he is not here to tell his story, but we are here to give his side the best we can from the view that we were able to see things.
Sure. Ana Victoria, in one of the videos that we've all seen, Sarah Boone told police that George's family didn't like her and that they referred to her as the blue-eyed white dragon. Would you talk about where that nickname came from, and if it's true that you all didn't like her, and in particular, why?
I can definitely answer that. As far as the nickname is concerned, that was created all through Sarah's little brain.
That's crazy if she really did come up with that nickname and nobody actually called her that. I did enjoy the quick little jab of small brain, But it's just very surprising. I wonder if someone somewhere said that to her, or if she just pieced that together over the years because she knew how much they didn't like her.
Other than that, she was definitely correct as far as us not liking her. And she should have stated that she didn't like us either, because that is very much correct as well. She, like I stated, is very evil. And what she is acting out there on the stand and within that courtroom is baffling to me, because that is not the real Sarah Boone at all. But yeah, she was correct. We don't like her. We didn't like her. That will never change. Unfortunately, I do feel bad for her and I wish her the best. But what I do wish is that my father receives his justice and she gets the time that she deserves. And a slap on the wrist is not it. Other than that, as far as a relationship with Sarah, one that was a good one, there wasn't one. We tried, we definitely tried, but she did not.
Anna Victoria, thank you for sharing all of that. I want to go to your mom now. Dolores, you were married to George for 14 years.
So let's remember that Dolores was, I believe, his first wife, and then he also was married to Camille. There's not a lot of information out on Dolores, so it's going to be great getting to hear from her.
I have three beautiful children with him. Two of them are here with us today, Destiny and Anna Victoria. We understand that at one point, Sarah Boone tried to fight you. Tell us about that.
Not per se fight me, because we've only, I want to say that we've had one engagement, which was for my children's birthday party that they attended later in the evening. So I really have never had like a confrontation. It was made verbal over the phone. She had threatened me a couple times to come over and that she would dust her doormat for myself and my daughters. But it was basically verbal threats that she would give every time that George would call his children, any chance that he had, that he was able to call his children to speak, and I was present. It was a problem for George. She was very much jealous of me, for what reason I'm not aware of, but we never had physical, altercations.
Well, and that's a very good thing. Tell us, Dolores, during your marriage to George, was he ever violent with you or any of your kids?
He was never violent with my children. We would have normal husband and wife family spats here and there, but never to the point where police were ever involved, DHS was ever involved. We were never that type of family.
So I'm going to say she specifically said the children, but she very obviously left herself out of this answer, which is interesting.
I can't relate to Sarah and the abuse that she so-called claims that she's received from George, because I never received abuse like that. I want to say the only thing that I can say about George is that he was a ladies' man.
So that might be a clue as to one of the reasons why they divorced. Maybe that is why she's bringing it up, kind of. Ladies' man. So evidently he was very flirty and liked getting the attention of girls.
Gotcha. Okay. And so just to be very clear here, did anything physical ever take place in terms of physical violence that he inflicted on you?
Oh, good. She followed up. Good.
No.
Okay. And thank you for that. I know these are very personal questions.
Okay. So it's interesting that she left out herself and said no physical violence to the kids, but now she's saying no. I'm wondering maybe if at some point something happened, like pushing or something to that extent, and that's why she didn't want to originally include herself, but now she's saying no. So clearly it wasn't, if it was something, it wasn't up to the level that George and Sarah had.
But we really want to get everything out here and get your side of all this, as everyone in the courtroom isn't hearing it. Destiny, we're so happy to have you here. You were a surprise this morning. We knew Anna Victoria was coming on and your mom, and we're so glad to see you too. What would you like to say about your dad, the kind of person that he was? What would you like the world to know about him?
My dad was an amazing person. He was my best friend. Nobody's perfect, but my dad was very loving. Everybody loved him back. He didn't deserve what happened to him. I don't think anybody deserves to die like that. I was 15 when it happened. I ended up being very depressed and going through suicidal thoughts and things of that nature. Yeah, we're just really trying to get my dad justice.
We know you are. We know you are. And Anna Victoria, back to you really quickly. You said that no one has reached out to you. Has the prosecutor's office reached out to your family?
As far as my father's mother, his father, his siblings are concerned, they have been communicated with due to the fact that they do live in Orlando. I live in Philadelphia, but nonetheless, I have communicated with the attorneys. The only thing I would say is I've never been contacted in regards to who my father was. I'm not sure if Sarah Boone deleted the calls or anything like that, but I'm sure those things were able to be, brought back up. But my siblings and I spoke to our father that night, and I do think that our encounter and what took place over the phone is very valuable to the case, as well as what their relationship was like and what Ms. Boone's plans may have been that night. Again, whether they have been premeditated or not, in my opinion, they very much were, due to the character of Sarah and all the experiences that we've had with her. But
what did your dad say on the phone?
If we were contacted,
Victoria?
Things could have been much better. So nothing in specific, but we talked on the phone for months at a time, every so often. I would say that I spoke to my father at least 3 times a week, maybe more. And we would stay on the phone as long as he possibly could stay on the phone with me, without Sarah getting agitated or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
I can't really put into words the way she would act.
Yeah.
I forgot that he was a bit younger than Sarah Boone. And yeah, wow, 42. It's so sad. It's so upsetting for everybody involved. I'm glad that justice, after this many years, is finally happening. And it's going to be interesting to see what the judge decides on for her sentencing. And a lot of the times when judges do sentencing, they will talk about the case and then their feelings and thoughts on the case. They kind of hold it all in, not to sway the jury one way, but are able to then say something at the end of this. And I cannot wait. I really hope the judge does. I think that him seeing everything throughout this entire process would be beneficial for him to say his point of view on how Sarah's been, before the arrest, during her jail time, during her time in prison, and then also how she's treated all of her attorneys. I just hope that he sweeps through everything and talks about everything. But we will find out on November 2nd, because that is her sentencing day.